Greetings and welcome. It is going to be an awesome game. It is going to be Rebli, the Protoss in the bottom left, going up against EGIdrA, the Zerg player in the top right. IdrA is just such a strong player. It is awesome to see him play. Rebli can go ahead and say hi, and IdrA responds with a good old hi. So now these guys are, I'm assuming, great players as Rebli is playing up against IdrA. IdrA, who is incredibly famous for macro and BN. It will be great to see this guy play. He recently just destroyed everybody in the IPL and also did really well in the SL as well so far. So I'm very curious to see how these guys are going to play. I didn't really see what Rebli just said. I didn't really check that watching your stream. So Rebli was watching IdrA's stream, so hopefully he's not watching anymore. Hopefully IdrA's not streaming. Guys, wish good luck to each other, and we're going to go ahead and see what these guys do. Now, Rebli did just say that he was watching IdrA's stream, which means that he should be familiar with IdrA, not IdrA, IdrA's stream, so he should be familiar with IdrA's PVZ. We'll see if IdrA, knowing this, is oh yeah, Rebli turned it off now, so that is good. We'll see if IdrA is actually going to be changing up his strategy as opposed to what he normally does in PVZ on this map, because of the fact that Rebli has definitely seen him play at the very least one. We are seeing a gateway being thrown down by Rebli at the front of the base. We're not going to see any form of cannon rushing, no proxies, which is honestly not that uncommon against IdrA. Everybody knows that IdrA is an insanely strong macro player. He knows exactly how much he can get away with and how he can really just be as effective as possible. We're actually going to see him trying to get down the... There it is. The hatchery first does go down. They go for the 15 hatch, a very economic play from him, which is how he plays. Not having that block is going to be actually bad for Rebli, as that does mean that IdrA is going to have so many drones and just so much comfortability. He loves having that macro style, so doing this is going to be great for him. We'll see if Rebli is going to follow up with a strong strategy. 3-gate fast expand is nothing to really just assume is not going to be happening. It's definitely a possibility. We're going to see him throw down the Cybernetics core to complete this wall off. Once he does it, there we go. So connecting the Zealot to wall off. IdrA is got his spawning pool on the way. Didn't see the food that he did that at, but now he's gonna go ahead and get out an extractor. Fairly late considering, but he definitely is trying to get as much economy as he can, which means drones with the Overlord mixed in. Getting the gas late. You don't need that metabolic boost that early against Protoss generally. Can't think of any situations where you really want the metabolic boost unless you're going to try and do a counterattack off of something along the lines of a cannon rush or a proxy gate, so trying to defend against them along those lines. But really, in those cases, metabolic boost takes a little bit too long to be out at the timing that you would like it. So Rebli's going to go ahead and start mining from his second assembler as well. So it's definitely looking like a 3-gate fast expand. We do see this Stalker being produced instead of a Sentry. Just didn't have he had the gas to get that Sentry, but he could be going for a Stargate kind of style if he's going to try and be saving up the gas to get that Stargate. Well, we'll see if he's going to put that down. He's going to definitely want to wait until this drone actually gets taken out before putting down that Stargate tech. We'll see if IdrA's going to do something weird like put on a proxy hatch. Really highly doubt it, but it's always a possibility. We'll go ahead and watch that IdrA is going to go ahead and actually not put down anything. Kind of be expecting a Roach War happening fairly soon from any normal player. IdrA, however, I know he likes to use Lings and Banelings against Protoss, and we're actually seeing the Stargate being thrown out by Rebli, so it is Stargate tech. I am proud to say that I called that. One base Stargate, going to try and get out probably a Void Ray and a Phoenix in order to be as annoying as he can against IdrA. There we having the second gateway being thrown down. So only 2 gates, not 3. We could be seeing expansion coming out for Rebli once he possibly gets out a Stargate or 2 to really see what IdrA is doing. IdrA is doing a good job of just being present. The worker counts are actually even. However, with the 5 drones in production, IdrA's about to leap forward very much. Rebli's being good with his gameplay. You can definitely tell he's a solid player. He does have the Stalker and the Zealot out. He's actually definitely wanting his expansion fairly soon as he's getting down this pylon at the ramp. That's a clear indicator of wanting that Nexus. IdrA's running around. He's got these links going to go in and actually see this pylon. Will he attack it or try and go up the ramp and see the tech? No. But Warp Gate is about to finish. He's got to realize that something's up if he sees that there's no Warp Gate. IdrA does not know about the Stargate. He's seeing the 2 Zealots move out, and it should be his cue to leave. Metabolic Boost is not done yet, so he can't run up the base and see what is happening. IdrA eats 1 hit from that Zealot and then retreats without any losses. Okay, so now IdrA's now getting up his third gas. He's got his second gas of just finishing. Lair is now halfway done. Going to try and get as much as he can. And the Lings don't block the Nexus. Oh, the Lings could have blocked the Nexus, but that's not going to be the case. They're going to move in, and it does seem that Rebli is going to try and just make the Lings leave, but IdrA is actually doing a fair bit of damage to this Nexus. He could actually take down the Nexus. It forces to cancel. That is huge. Rebli wants that X buff immediately, but that just delayed it a fair bit, and there is unhappy face from Rebli. And we're just going to go ahead and just attack this again. The units for Rebli are actually out of position. Oh, more Lings coming in with a perfect bit of a surround on these units. Rebli could be taking a huge hit very early on. The Zealots are going to help him. IdrA is going to go ahead and lose these Lings, but he could run into the main base. He does. He's going to go in. He sees the Stargate, though he does have this free Phoenixes going up to harass him. As it is, oh wow, so those Lings get taken out. One Ling is still alive, but no Stargates or anything. It does go down to those Zealots. So Rebli is now working on getting his hatchery, the Nexus up. He does have these Phoenixes going to go ahead and work on taking down his Queens. Takes out a single Queen, trying to micro this hurt Phoenix away. So IdrA is now taking one Queen loss, but he has another Queen coming out in both of the lair and the hatchery, which means that there should be enough anti-air that really Rebli is not going to have to pull away soon. But IdrA just lost that Queen. Going to possibly lose this one. Does if any lifts left. There's going to be another lift. Another Phoenix is now out, so Rebli's being as effective as he can with these Phoenixes. IdrA, however, has a Hydra Den on the way. Gets some more AA, not to mention the fact that he has all these Lings actually working on his Nexus. Is it going to get cancelled? It does get cancelled. Oh, wow. Rebli could lose his Nexus once more. We do see Zealous trying to morph in, but yeah, this Nexus is going down. IdrA is playing really, really well. Dying his Nexus once more, and there it is. It goes down. We'll go ahead and retreat. And oh, that is a huge hit for Rebli. Still on one base. All these Phoenixes are trying to be as effective as they can. But with Hydras along the way, this is not going to be lasting for long. Spore Crawlers in the mineral lines. IdrA is well defended. Hydras getting lifted off. They do take extra hits from those Phoenixes, but now with enough Hydras, they will go down. Oh, wow, and this Queen's going to get lifted, but another Queen and a Hydra actually popping out. Rebli is taking a lot of hits, lifting off as many as he can. Looks like he's going to kill off the Hydra, but lose a Phoenix. He can't afford to lose. Ooh, that is bad, but now we have all these things going to run in, trying to be even more annoying to Rebli, as Rebli's trying to get out his Nexus once again. This is really, really showing a command by IdrA in this game. Ling's going to go ahead and see that these Phoenixes are now out of position, and Void Ray is now in the mix. Not enough money to really get out any more units except for a Phoenix if he wants to, but really IdrA is just in such command lead right now. It is insane. The Phoenixes have done a fair bit of damage. However, IdrA is just looking so solid. He's now getting Overlord speed to help with either getting drop once that completes or when it's halfway done, or just to make sure that his Overlords don't die as easily to the Phoenixes. Really, the harassing can be incredibly annoying to deal with, and a great way to just defend with your Overlords is just to make sure that they can get away from the Phoenixes, forcing them to move. But the Void Rays is really going to be the issue. IdrA has a large Hydra force on the field. He's getting out even more drones. We do see that the drone count is 46 to 38. IdrA has actually managed, even though he's lost Queens constantly, he's still managing to stay with just the two hatcheries, just spawning the larva so efficiently. You see his Queens are essentially perfect, except for this one. He's going to need to spawn once more, and then he can actually even spread a creep tumor or save for transfusion. Either way, he wants this gold. IdrA, macro player, wants that gold base up. Rebli has got these Phoenixes and these Void Rays. They want to attack as much as he possibly can. IdrA is spreading creep, not as much as I actually like, but Rebli is starting to stabilize. He's only behind 20 food right now at this point, but he's also getting out a second Robo. He's going to go for a double Robo Colossi as his follow-up to this Phoenixes. Phoenix Colossus is a PvT mix that's going to work out really well against IdrA because he's forced so many of these Hydras. This could be great. Hydras are slow and so susceptible to the Xel'Naga lance of Colossi. Rebli is now getting out a lot of Stalkers. He's going to need Sentries, Stalkers, and Colossi to deal with these units. The Force Fields, Guardian Shields are going to be incredibly useful, and Rebli is now finally blocked off this back door, and IdrA has now gone and seen the front. He's going to go ahead and actually push. He sees the Chromes on the Robo. It's getting an Observer, though. It doesn't have really much else, so IdrA is trying to attack on this angle, but he's in this choke. It's kind of a vulnerable position. However, force field's just in time. Going to block that over there. One warp gate goes down, and IdrA is just trying to attack. His latest Hydras do what they will. Void Ray is not going to take any hits, interestingly enough. But the robotics bay is done. Colossi can easily be coming along the way. You see the first Colossus being produced. IdrA has so many Hydras, though, it just might not matter. And he's targeting down the Robo. He knows the fear of those Colossus, and he's going to be able to take down the Robo before the Colossi can even finish. He's actually working on taking down all these units. Going to be able to snipe off that Phoenix if he really wants to, but chooses to go for the Robo instead. And this is great for him, but there's another Robo over here building Colossi that he's not aware of. IdrA has actually seen it now, knows it's there, but he's going to go ahead and work on sniping the Nexus instead. Oh, greedy play, but it could pay off. All these Hydras are in the mix, and IdRA's just, he's destroying all those probes, moving in. Rebli does not have enough to deal with this. The Void Ray weren't getting the level 3 charge. It's taking down a lot of units. 4 kills on it now, but 5 kills. But the problem is that now these Hydras are focusing it, and Rebli, GG's. The Colossus is not going to come out in time. Rebli gives a happy face as IdrA emerges victorious.